Well, hot diggity damn! It's time for the Facebook Friday Q&A. Are you ready? I said, shut up. All right. Thanks to those of you that took to the OTRSCentral Facebook page and posted your questions with a quickness. It's almost like you guys had nothing else better to do Friday night. You were just waiting for the Schleg Daddy to post on the OTRSCentral Facebook page, asking for your questions so that way you could give them to me. Just saying. Not saying, but I'm saying. You know what I'm saying. All right. Let's see what we got here. Mario Rios asked, did Orton go AWOL because the base ran out of baby oil? Either that or gopher hole. Yes, sir. He went AWOL for some reason. And you know what that means? We've got a great idea. Let's put him in the Marine movie. Oops. Really? The guy goes AWOL, gets dishonorably discharged, and somebody in that company, not naming any names, Vincent Kennedy McMahon, decides that it's a good idea to cast the guy in a movie about the Marines? Oopsie daisies. Oh, Christ. Michael Hill, do you think the Wyatt-Ambrose feud is a lose-lose situation? If Wyatt wins, Ambrose loses all the momentum he's built up, and if Ambrose wins, it hurts Wyatt's chances of becoming an established singles wrestler because he'll have lost his first rivalry as a singles wrestler. It could be a lose-lose situation, but I don't think it's so much just because of the fact that somebody's got to win and somebody's got to lose. If they do this feud and nobody really truly goes over, then it's still lose-lose. Neither one of them really got anything out of it. It was just a time filler, a time killer. You know, I'm not sure how this is going to end. I'm not sure it's going to end very well. We shall see. You know, if this is just a time filler to get to maybe Bray Wyatt versus Sting and Dean Ambrose versus Triple H at WrestleMania 31, then okay, I can deal with it. How about that? Terrence Rooks, do you know if God, Randy Orton, Cena, etc., ever watched any of your reviews and or rants? I'm not going to sit there and say arrogantly that they have. I'm sure people have tweeted videos I've done about them in the past, and they may or may not have had a glancing look at them. I do know for a good fact that people within the WWE have seen videos of mine and videos of other people here on the old YouTube as well. That's an undeniable fact. WWE has people on the payroll who one of their purposes, one of their goals, one of their jobs is to check the heartbeat of the internet, what's going on in the internet. They'll never admit it in public, but they know it's true. So as far as those individuals, I don't know. In terms of other people within the company, I know for a fact they have. I know for a fact they have. And I know I'm not the only one by any stretch of the imagination. You'd be surprised how many people within that company they've watched. Jonathan Pittman, do you think that wrestling fans in general have a habit of bitching too much when it comes to anything the WWE decides to do with John Cena? It seems like a lot of cases, people tend to just crap on the guy at the mere mention of his name these days. Perhaps there's something to what you're saying, but there's also a pretty good reason why people are crapping on just the mere mention of him. I mean, let's be brutally honest here. There's a pretty good reason why. And do they have a habit of bitching too much about it? I guess it depends on your perspective. If you want to be contrarian to the status quo, then maybe you'll believe that. But otherwise, you got to look at it and you say, most of the complaints are legit. They're valid. Man, how much spin you put on? So I don't know if I would say it's, yeah, maybe it's bitching for the sake of bitching, but when it comes to Cena, a lot of his shit's valid. Then let's see here. Mukahid Kilnich, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Hey, let's thugify your name a little bit. Let's go M-Dog Kill Inc. That's a pretty good rap name right there. Because I fucking said so. What would happen if the Iron Sheik portrayed Vincent Hogan? We all know that Gagne made an offer to the Sheik, I believe it was $100,000. And Gagne offered Sheik to break Hogan's leg, but Sheik was loyal and did his job at Madison Square Garden. Man, what would have happened? One of the ultimate woulda, coulda, shoulda scenarios and situations. And that's why for all the people that have always wanted to sit there and say that Vince was the only bad guy and Vince was the only evildoer in the wrestling business, you're full of shit. Vern was a sleaze. A lot of these other guys were sleazes. They took advantage of their workers. They did underhanded, sneaky fucking things. Vince was not alone in that. Vince just went about it in a slightly different way and ended up doing it better than everybody else. But yeah, oh yeah, that's an incredibly dirty, underhanded tactic that Vern tried to pull. And I fully believe that he did. Vince was raiding his talent pool, raided Hogan from him. He had to be pissed off about that. Christian Guillen. Who did Triple H have a good rivalry with? HBK, John Cena, Undertaker, or Batista? Batista in 2005 wasn't bad because it had a lot of story to it. HBK in 02 to 04, not that long, was good, but the problem was it was far too long. It was far too involved, and he touched far too many times. I don't think Triple H ever really did any good business with Cena. That's just my opinion. In terms of Taker, I guess it was okay. Brandon Harden, and hopefully not the former third-round pick of the Bears, that total bust. Finally, I could get this answered. I didn't realize you'd asked it several times, but you're getting it answered now. The Rock versus Roman Reigns. Could you see it happening next year? No. I don't think WWE wants to go in that direction, will go in that direction, because they're going to perhaps want to put Roman Reigns in a situation where he will be the unanimous hero if he wins that belt, or whoever he faces at WrestleMania. And that's a challenge, because if they have him wrestle Lesnar, you could have some fans behind Lesnar, and it could be not the reaction you want. You do that with The Rock, it could very much be the same thing. Frankly, the safest match for Reigns to have at WrestleMania, especially if it involves the title, to where you can ensure that the fans will fully be behind Reigns, will be John Cena. It's not a guarantee, but it's the safest bet, the safest path the WWE can travel down. Benedict Infinity Ward says the Authority faction is a joke. Yes, it is. Agreed. When do you think WWE should debut another new faction, and who should lead that faction? I don't think they should debut another new faction now, so therefore I don't think anybody should lead it. If they were going to do a faction, in my dream world, it would involve Triple H, John Cena, Randy Orton, Batista, Sheamus, Stephanie. You go balls deep with the fucking Breakfast Club. Like Main Event Mafia, but 1,000 times worse and done in a much better way. That's what I would do. Frank Gibson, who do you think will be the next WWE World Heavyweight Champion? John Cena. I think it happens at the Rumble. We'll see if I'm right or wrong. Kyle Miller, who are your top 3 workers currently in the business? Yeah. On the one hand, I will agree that when us as fans, we talk about things like work rate, etc., I do think it is a little stupid. I know I've done it too, so that makes me kind of stupid in this way, because by and large, we're not actually working in the ring. Work rate and whether they're workers or not, that's something that people within the business use, to determine who's worth what, that's one of those respect things, jealousy things, what have you. With that being said, top 3 workers currently in the business. I'm not going to name any independent guys. I really don't even want to go into workers because, again, that's all depends upon your perspective. Because you'll have some people that think it's just technical wrestling solely, and that's the only way you can work, which I think is ridiculous. Because if the crowd isn't involved, you're not working them for shit, then your match was shit. Some people will say that the best workers are the ones that do the most flips and kicks. And again, if you're doing it in front of 200 people, if you're doing it and the people aren't responding the way that they should, you're not doing what you need to be doing, then that's not really working either. Then you could go through the elements of telling a tremendous story, which I always think is the best way to work, where you actually work the crowd. The people that wrestle seem to think that working means working in the match, which of course is stupid because it's a business that is about making money, so therefore the most important thing to work is the fucking crowd. If I sit there and go have a 60-minute classic but nobody gives a shit, but I could sit there and have a 5-minute slap fight with somebody and it tears the fucking roof off the joint, and next time twice as many people come back to see me again wrestle and have maybe a 8-minute slap fight, then who's the better worker? The guy that flips or me? The guy that does this for fucking 8 minutes. I've worked the crowd better. I've got the better reaction out of them. I've got more money out of them now and in the future. That makes me the better worker. So I don't really know. Ben Scott, have you seen the A New Day is coming promo by Xavier Woods, and if so, do you believe this is just another racial stereotype gimmick that will flop, or is the WWE trolling fans in a way similar to the Brodus Clay promos, and this will lead to the official new repackaging of the New Nation with Woods as an intellectual leader, not the WWE stereotypical African-American character? First things first, why do we say African-American? Like white people, we don't say European American or German American. You know, white is white, and black is black. Why do we say African American? I've never understood where that's less offensive. To me, if anything, that would be more offensive because that would classify somebody as being a lesser American because we have to quantify what type of American they are, or even insinuate that they even have to be thought of as American. Like if you're white, you're just assumed you're white. We don't sit there and say Anglo-American, European American. We don't say that shit. I never got that. I'm not picking you out. That's something I've never understood. You're hoping that WWE is going away from a racial stereotype gimmick. Good luck with that. Let me know how that goes. Kyle Bridges. Is there any show over time that you have gone from loving to hating or hating to loving? WrestleMania 17 was never one of my favorites. But in 2001, I was okay with it, even though it did things that pissed me off, especially the stupid main event. But as time has gone along, and I realized what it's come to represent, I realized just how truly shitty that show was, in my opinion. That's the first one I could think of off the top of my head. I don't know if there's any other glaring examples of shows I'm like, wow, this was incredible, and I always thought it was shitty, or wow, this was shitty, and I always thought this was good. Let's see here. Jose Gonzalez, what are your thoughts on WWE Fastlane? Is it as stupid as it sounds? If you're asking that question, you probably already had the answer. It's the Fastlane. It's just a name. And a name, it's all about what you put into it and what you can potentially get out of it. That's the creative juices of the WWE today. That is the originality in the WWE today. That's what the fuck you got. Juan Morales, who would be in your version of the NWO? Well, if I was doing the NWO, I'd do Hogan, Hall, and Nash as my three. Put one or two other guys in there, bigger players, and that's it. I wouldn't water it down. I wouldn't put too many people in it. But you got to go with Hogan, Hall, and Nash as you're starting. John Gorman, why is the WWE just can't give black wrestlers non-stereotype characters? I mean, we are in 2014 and not 1994, right? We are, but the WWE is not. And until they realize the importance of black talents and, how unrealistic the product seems in part because they are still dominated largely by the white athlete, whereas most North American sports are not and have not been for a significant period of time. And the WWE's audience will fail to grow, and in fact, it will just continue to shrink. Robert Wyatt, I know you aren't a fan of the unnecessary high spots, but what do you think were the most effective, important high spots in wrestling history? A ton of them. I don't know if I got them, but Taker versus Mankind at King of the Ring 98. I think it was incredibly significant because that's what WWF was really starting to cook there in the heart of 1998. They were starting to take away market share from WCW, and it also got to the point in time where they were doing as much crazy shit as ECW was. Why watch the same crap with WCW turn to the NWO doing their stupid crap? You've got all these different guys doing all these different things. You got much better match quality in the WWF at that time. And then why sit there and watch ECW and all their crazy shit when WWF's doing that crazy shit with characters you frankly care about more and with much better production values? That's an incredibly significant and important high spot. I think there's no question about it. Let's see here. Javi VD. Do you remember Dino Bravo whenever you see a Swiss cheese? Dead Dino Bullet Bravo. Standing it. On that note, I'm out of here, bitches. Stay tuned to this channel. More Survivor Series review series videos. That series is underway now. Be back Monday with another Q&A. See you later.